Core textual value. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Leo? Oh, my channel members, love you guys. What's going on, Leia? Don't forget. Yes, buddy. Thank you. I love Leo. He's awesome. Every time. I love it. Yes, and don't forget to hit the like button, especially if you're watching this on the replay. Hit the like and comment below and let me know you're part of the replay crew. I got back to every single one of you guys and girls. All your messages, I got back to every single one personally. So you know I'm getting back to you. So make sure you do that. What's going on, core textual value? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yes, I got new fish. What's going on, Leia? Thank you, Longfin Lagoon. What's going on, TC Downey? I'm good, Leo. I'm good. I just got some new fish. You guys can see that actually in a bit. We can put them into tanks actually. They need to come out of the containers. So I got to figure out where to put them. What's going on, greatest? What's up, Playco Fever? What's up, Fishymon? Yeah, I mean, I'm still upset about it. I'm sitting in front of the tank. Every time I look at the tank, I'm looking for my fish, and it feels really shitty, you know? What's going on? What's going on, Craig? And Olivia. Hi, Olivia. How are you? TC Downey. Thank you for the super chat, mate. I'm good. How are you, Olivia? How's your fish tanks? What's going on, Imperial Playcos? Hello, hello, hello. The greatest. Wrong account. You got 2 accounts. Anita, what's up? Very nice. Thank you. Vincenzo. That's good to hear, Olivia. You have school in the morning, right? Where's your dad? I think he's helping you clean tanks, I'm guessing. Non-stop aquatics. Hello, hello, hello. Stephen P, what's up? So yeah, we got new fish. I'm really excited. They're like my favorite fish. What's going on? Why? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm just gonna say why. What's going on? How are you? US Caper. Okay, I'm back. So you're greatest forever. GB, what's up? This is the correct account. What's up, unboxing? What are we unboxing? We're unboxing fish. So I got a bunch of fish. I got about 200 fish. I'll show you guys. Actually, let me close the box so you don't see what's in there. I'll show you the box now. Once I close the lid. So these fish came from Montreal. There they are. This is from my friend. I gotta send him. So the fish that are in here, I'm sending him more fish in return. So, but let's look at these guys first. Okay, since there's so many of you guys on already. Yes, beta unboxing in 2 weeks. Okay, so let's just open this, okay? This had a, how do you call it? Hello. So this had a power box, whatever, air supply. So like a little air pump that was sitting on top, plugged in, so that they were cool through their journey. And they were cool actually because it's cold in Canada right now. So yeah, that's what we got. There is a dead one, so it's a part of shipping, but they are platinum angels. I don't know if you guys can see it. So that's these are long fin fish. I think there's like 2 dead, but the rest are all doing good. You know, there's a dead one over there. This one died a while back, so I think you know, like there's a lot of them. So you know, this type of stuff happens. There's nothing you can do about it. But I mean, out of like, I don't know, 150, 200 fish, you can see everybody else is doing great, except for this one on the ground. So that's 2. What's going on, Craig? What's going on, John's Fish Room? So, there they are. They're platinum Veiltail angels. Some of these are pearl scale. Some of these are regular scale. Um, this guy has a deformity, swim bladder issue, whatever. Like, it's a neurological thing, you know. So we gotta figure out what to do with that. There's another one. It's quite normal in a batch this size, but this is an entire spawn, so it's quite normal to have like a few. Like there's another one, but that's the only thing. There's only like there's a couple that have that. What's going on, S? So that's one of the boxes. There's another box. We'll look at that in a second. But yeah, really quickly, I wanted to say I got an entire spawn of these exact fish actually. So you see the fish that are in here. These are longfin, how do you call it? Platinum Veiltail angels, right? So I got those fish that you just saw are their siblings that were born a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago. So these fish are bred by a friend of mine, and we breed angel fish. So he's breeding them in Montreal, I breed them here in Toronto, and we send fish back and forth, right? So he gets fish from me, I get fish from him. So those fish that you just saw, I'm sending back fish for them. So I don't know if you guys remember, but last Sunday I sent some fish. So this is what he sent back to me. Ta-da! So out of these fish, these 4 were fish I sent him. 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are females. He just wanted different females. He didn't like these, so he sent these back. This is a pair that he sent me. Black double Veiltail, double D black, full black, solid. See, they're beautiful. So he sent me those, and he sent me this blue marble female, also a Veiltail, to see if I have a male to pair up with her to send back to him. Okay, so this is what we do. We just send fish back and forth, essentially. Like I literally sent those fish to him last Sunday. You guys remember that, right? You guys were probably here. What's going on, Flynn? Welcome, and a new member. Thank you for being a channel member. I haven't seen you for a bit, so I'm good. How are you? Yes, they ship for like 5-hour drive in the trunk of a car, not in an ice box. So it's bloody cold out here. Like it's really badly cold. Like I mean, it's about today's not actually 13 is quite cold, and in a trunk of a car, it's not insulated, so you're expecting the temperature in there to be about 17 degrees Celsius at best, you know. What's going on, Richard? So like they made through that entire journey, and it was only like one fish that died that was already dead, and then one that had died, like, you know, through the journey. So like 2 dead, and I'm pretty happy with that. They ship really well. I find, especially with like with my friend that I ship with back and forth, we ship fish quite often through this same kind of method. Like his cousin just drove them right now, but usually we have a guy that drives to Montreal and back, so we just give him the fish in the box, and he just drops it up there and picks up another box and drives back here, and then I go pick it up at a specific location. So it works really well, you know, and so far I've had no issues with that. Shipping through like an airline or like the post is a different story. Like that's sometimes I don't like that quite a lot because it doesn't work as well, you know. I like this personal hand-to-hand type of shipping. We have a person going to Sudbury, Ontario, so if anybody's in Sudbury, I can send you guys fish. What's going on? I'm good. Why? I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm not gonna butcher it. Flynn wants to know, are you able to ship to me in Hawaii? I don't know. I can ship to the lower 48. I don't think Hawaii is a possibility for me because I'm not even in the US, but you should contact Glassbox at first He's on Facebook. Uh, uh, Also, he's here on YouTube actually, Glassbox Aquarist, and he might be on the chat. And he can ship to Hawaii, and I think he would be closer to you because he's in the West Coast. So it would probably be the best option for you is to get from him. And yeah, but I can't. Yeah, the L260s all died, mate. I have one male left in the back tank that that had an injury, so I had him in there, and so he survived. What's going on, TC? And thank you for the super chat. I forgot who it was up here. TC, yes, that was you. Thank you so much. Yeah, all 10 of them died. Well, all 9 of them, plus like 15 of them are fry. They were all gravid too. It was really sad. And I mean, I was hoping that they would breed. I keep looking at my fish. Sorry. uh, was it easy to start breeding? Well, I mean, for me personally, this has been my experience since I was very young. Is you keep the fish happy, you get healthy fish to start with. You know, you get young fish, you grow them out, you get healthy fish, you feed them well. You know, you have a decent amount of fish together. They just breed. You know, you don't need to do a lot. Usually, all my fish, that's just how they start breeding, for the most part. I don't do anything special. Like I just put them in a tank. Obviously, if they need to be in a pair, I put them in a pair. If they need to be in a group, I put them in a group. You know, but if you go through my tanks, you'll find even in the community tanks, like these for example, you'll find fry. You know what I mean? Not just Pleco fry, also like the tetras breed in the tank with angels, with other fish. You know, it doesn't matter. So they seem to, if the conditions are good, animals just breed. You know, so sorry, I'm thirsty. What's going on, J Rock? Do I recommend buying 1 to 2 inch? 1 to 2 inch, definitely. Don't buy the 3 inches because here's the thing. Um, this is true when you're buying any fish, and so if you're buying fish from a normal person, let's call them an ethical person, and they're not gonna sell you, let's say, deformed fish. You're gonna get healthy fish. So when they first have babies, they'll cull the deformities, the 1-2 fish that have issues. But after that first initial cull, they'll start selling. Those would be the culling, right? So the first sale, obviously they're gonna pick out like whatever fish to grow out, and then they're gonna sell the rest, right? So the smallest ones. But the thing is, there's so many of them that they're not gonna get all the good ones. A lot of the good ones are gonna be in that group on the first cull. So you're gonna get the best chances are off of that, the 1 inch, 1.5 inch size. Anything bigger, that means they've kept them for like a few months after, and then now they're selecting from that 20 fish that they kept. And then now they're only selling males or fish that they don't want to keep no more. You know what I mean? Not fish that they want. You know? So undesirables. So that's when you don't want to buy them. You know? And then when it comes to adult pairs, you might get lucky with someone that has kept 3-4 pairs for themselves, and now they have 2 of them breeding and they don't want to have 4 pairs breeding, so they might sell you a pair, right? So you might get lucky with that. But the best chances are buying like 1.5 inch fish. With pretty much any pleco, you want to buy them like small, you know, about 3.5 centimeters, or less, a little bit more bigger is okay also. But don't buy them at like, with the zebra plecos for example, people sell them at like that big, right? You know, like a centimeter, 3/4 of a centimeter, whatever. Don't buy it that size because unless you're like really experienced, even then the chance of keeping them alive is difficult. You know, it's very hard. So one inch, 1.5 inch ideally. Long fin, I would say 1.5 inch or smaller. But for short fin, you could probably get away with 1 3/4, you know, because those would be your big males. But don't get too many of the bigger ones either. So if you see a group, get like a couple of the biggest ones and more of the smaller, healthier ones. Like you'll get like nice, plump, healthy fish and pick those out of the smaller ones instead of like picking just all the big ones. Because if you take all the big ones, I'm also learning that with angelfish right now, trying to breed for color. I always pick the brightest fish when they're younger, like the ones that show the best color, and a lot of them end up being males. So now I have to figure out, like a lot of the fish I kept back. I mean, I do have females, but there's a lot more males in my groups, on my angels groups right now, in the last batch. But now, knowing that I'm not doing that anymore, I'm keeping some fish that have good color but are not as bright, you know, hoping that they will be females. What's going on, scales and tails? Exotic fish. No, there is a bigger market for general pet fish, Kevin. There's a more, you know, niche market for exotics, like zebra plecos, for example. There is a big market for them, but like there's a lot bigger market for, like, let's say goldfish or angelfish or guppies. Guppies have a much bigger market. Betas have a huge market. You know what I mean? Things that are easier or perceived easier to take care of. Doesn't take a lot of space. Doesn't take a lot of knowledge and know-how. You don't have to research too much. I know. Dad told me. I'm sorry. That sucks. It was really sad. I was really upset about it yesterday. Don't watch the video. Don't watch the live stream. Watch the video about it. The live stream is a little not for kids. I'm sorry, bud. Tell your dad I said I'm sorry also. He told me, I think he was talking about it on the group chat. Yeah, there's a much bigger market for the cheaper fish. Flynn says, willing to ship to me in... No, the problem is, with me, I only have access to selling to the lower 48. Like, I already know the company I ship with. Even that was a stretch for me, you know? So, like, it's once a month. I had to go with, like, a package deal. A few of other people are going in on it. You know, it's a mess. I mean, the fish will get there, but it's just not ideal. It's just not... I'm not going to be able to ship to Hawaii. I know that. They told me that they won't even ship to Europe. But you know what? I will find you someone. Message me on Facebook. I'll connect you with my friend who is a fish wholesaler in the West Coast in California, and you can work with him and see if he can ship to you in wholesale. How many tanks do I have, TC? I don't know, like about 50 tanks, a little bit over, and about 30 of them running. J-Rock is lurking. Welcome. And yeah, 1 to 2 inch super reds, definitely. Did I catch up on everybody's chats? Thanks, Olivia. It's like you're, what's going on, Lady Metalhead? Thomas. Missed a lot of you guys up here. Richard. Zebra Pleco fans. Hello. How are you guys? Kenneth. Okay, caught up. Yes? John's Fish Room. Hello. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier. What's up, John's Fish Room? And S, welcome. S is a new channel member too. S has been here forever, so thank you for being a channel member. And Leah, where's Leah? Natural Aquariums. Hello. I know it's what's going on, Episcopal Fish? What's going on, Bernard Pillier? Yeah, Bernard Pillier. What's going on? Hello. I actually got that one, I think. I hope I didn't butcher it. Scales and Tail says he's going to watch the replay. He's in South Africa, so he needs to go to bed because he has school in the morning. Pleco Fever says, I lost my adult group last year with some Altums. I remember that. It's really sad when your fish die, you know? It's the worst experience, I think. It's one of the worst experiences. People don't understand. A lot of times people think that, like non-fish keepers, what's going on, Fanatic Al? Hello. Finn says you are amazing. Aw, thank you. You are too. Every one of you guys, you're all amazing. Yes, they did. I actually this morning I had to do like a little bit of a surgery. One of the because my tank pH is at like 7, and sometimes the eggs don't hatch that as well. So he did hatch some. He ate some that didn't hatch. I think about 5 didn't hatch, but about 5 or 6 hatched. It was a big clutch. It was a big clutch this time, and another female was trapped. So I'm hoping for another spawn in the next couple of days. Fingers crossed, you know. God willing, it happens, and then we'll go from there. But yes, um, Steven says S is everywhere, and in our hearts and minds. Yes, yes. What's going on, QC Alcoholic? I love S. And you, Steven. All of you guys are awesome, you know? No, man. Pillier. Oh, there you go. Bernard Pillier. Right? I think I got that. Wait, what? I am trying. It's sad. Like, I mean, I got new fish, so I'm excited for that. They're still doing good. They're warming up, so I'm going to put them into tanks just now. I got to figure out where to put them. I'm running low on tank space, too. So, might have to do some, how do you call it? Musical fish. Yes, everybody loves us. What's going on, Christopher? And rightfully so. Oh, very nice. Bosman eyes are nice fish to spawn. That's really good. Congratulations. I know, right? That's I think why my Corys are not spawning. I don't think it's because they're not spawning. It's because I'm not actively looking enough to find eggs. I barely look at their tanks, you know, like unless they're in a Playco tank. And now with work and stuff, I'm barely looking at, like, I'm here trying to like catch up now, you know, tonight. Like I've been doing it this morning, but then this came and I live streaming. Ah. 10 gallons are good. I mean, here's the thing. And I'm gonna tell you the honest, God honest truth, okay? I've raised them in these. Like that. Okay? Before, when I first started breeding in Canada, I had one tank. I was 17 years old. Or 16 years old, turning 17, okay? One tank. My dad got it for my birthday. It's a 55 gallon. And I had 2 pairs of blue rams and a couple of other fish. And those were good rams at back then. You know, 1996, 97, they had like really good quality fish that were good parents. So they bred on their own and they raised the fry, got them swimming about in the tank. They're about, you know, like yay big. So once they start swimming, I can't leave them in the tank because there's other fish. So I would siphon them out, put them in one of these, right? And hatch brine shrimp, because I had air pump, so I would set up an X hose on my little gang valve, and you know, behind my tank, set up a little light and everything. My mom was laughing, looking at the whole thing. It was so ghetto. And hatch brine shrimp and stuff. And every day I would feed this thing like, you know, three times, 4 times when I go to school, before I go to school, after I come back from school, and when I come home from my part-time job or whatever it was, you know what I mean, or stuff like that. And so I would feed them, and then once I feed them, you know, like maybe once in the day, I'll do a huge water change before I feed them again. So they get a water change like about 80-90%. So I'll siphon the water out with the airline and put new water from the tank, and then fill the tank back up with new water. You know what I mean? So the tank gets a little water change, they get a water change. 3-4 of these will be floating on my 55 gallon with different age fry. And you can grow them in something this small as long as you're willing to do the work and keep the water quality clean. But at some point, they're going to be too big to be in this, so you'd have to release them into a large tank. What I would recommend is a 10 gallon. But you want to put them in a 10 gallon at the size that they're at least about 3 millimeters, or like 1/8 of an inch, or 1/12 of an inch. No, 1/8 of an inch. Smaller than that, they're not going to survive in a 10 gallon more times, you know? You would want to keep them in something isolated, like a breeder box, like a hang on the back works. My friend Fish Easy, if you guys follow him, he's His name is Michael. He was here yesterday. I'll show you guys. Like, this guy is making like money right now on blue rams. I just got these from him, okay? These are for sale. These guys are selling $10 each, okay? I have 100 in here. And I kid you not, this 100 fish would be sold by Friday. So today is Sunday, right? Like, most of these fish would be gone by Friday. Like, so that's how fast they sell for me. And he has thousands of these guys. And yesterday he was standing, okay, so you know where the camera is right now? He was standing right there. And I was standing where I'm sitting down. We're like right beside each other, wearing our little masks, like talking to each other. And he said, every day now when I go outside with a few bags of fish and I come back home with $300-$400, my wife is looking at me like, you know, like kind of with the side eye, because she's seeing me bringing in like $300-$400, and I tell her it's all from this little fish in my little 10 by 10. You know, so he's probably gonna convince her to give her more space. I'm hoping that's the case, and she gives her like another like 30-40 square feet out of the basement, and he would probably produce like 1 million fish out of that space. Because right now he's producing quite a bit, you know. So you don't need a lot of space, you know, to grow fish. You just need to do water changes, lots of water changes, lots and lots and lots of water changes. And that's why, like, I don't grow a lot of fish, because I hate doing lots and lots of water changes. I do water changes like once a week. I don't have time to do water changes every day. You know what I mean? What's going on, DM Aquatics? What's the new fish? Yeah, I'll show you guys again. There's 39 of you watching, so. Drum roll. New fish. Woo! Got a lot of them. What's going on, Rohan? So they're platinum pearl scale angels, long fin, veiltail, all nice. There's a deformed one. This is an entire spawn. So he didn't count it or nothing. He just gave me the whole spawn. He's my friend, you know. So I didn't pay for these fish. I mean, I'm giving him fish back. I'm giving him these fish. I'm giving him all these. And I'm giving him all these. That's all I have right now. And these. I'll give him some of these also. Probably keep this black one for myself because I really like it. And he has black ones, so I'm trying to breed blacks. But he sent me those. So these fish, sorry, are... so this one, and this one are fish I sent to him last Sunday. I don't know if you guys remember, but we sent him 10 fish. So these are 4 females that he didn't want. He sent me back, and he asked for 4 different females. He sent me this one and this one, which is a pair of black, all black veiltail, full black fish, and this blue marble female to see if I had a male to pair her up with. So now what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna send him all the little fish in those 2 tanks in the breeder box, and I'm gonna go through my tanks and I'm gonna look for at least 3 red females and potentially 1 black female to send back to him, because that's what he wants. So I'm gonna see what I have that would work. And I'm low on females because I've only been keeping the prettiest fish, and they all end up being males. You know, it's a sausage fest. What's going on, Deb boy? I'm good. Jonathan, what's going on? Do I think water levels in the tank matters? No, as long as you're doing water changes and the water is moving, there's oxygen, it doesn't matter. Like you can see, these fish are in a bucket right now. I mean, I come from a third world country, right? When I was a kid, I had actual aquariums because my parents had a little bit of money, and you know, they were like considered like, you know, better off than most of the other people in the country. But a lot of my friends, you know, they were normal, lower, like the regular middle class or lower middle class, or regular people, you know what I mean, working class, some of them from working class families, and they all had aquariums and things that they used to use, cut up tires, okay, and they would grow fish in these, you know, plastic containers, like these buckets, like these things, that I'm using for transport. We actually made fun about it, me and my cousin, because we have seen this used as aquariums, like in Sri Lanka or in Southeast Asia, water bottles, all kinds of things. I've seen people breeding guppies in like those 5 gallon jugs. So they'll cut the top off, you know what I mean? And they'll have their like most expensive breeding pairs or trios in these 5 gallon buckets with like about 3.5 gallons of water. And then they grow the babies in styrofoam boxes. Like, those styrofoam fish and produce boxes, like, with the top lid and stuff. Some people even use the lid 3/4. They'll cut the lid 3/4 so it gives shade to the box, so in the sun it doesn't get too hot. You know what I mean? Usually you want to have this in the shade. Like, this is something you learn in the tropics. I learned this as a child. So the volume of water, none of those things matter as long as you can maintain water quality. So you have to have a source of oxygen. You have to maintain water quality, so which means you have to have good filtration, or you have to flush a lot of water through the system. Like, a lot of people that have commercial farms don't actually have large scale filters. They have a filter, usually a sump, and they have water just flushing through the sump regularly, like every single day, and that's how they keep the water quality. So it's just like, if you watch Jan the Discus Man, if I did a tour at his facility, right, his discus breeding facility, Dahi. What's a Dahi? His discus facility, and welcome, color guppies. My fish tanks AQ, welcome. Smokey, Rohan, would you make more money being a breeder in Asia or America? Depends. I mean, I can make money wherever I am, I think. If I was in Asia, I would be breeding cheap fish. Like, lots of them. I would breed 1,000,000 guppies, right? I sell each guppy for like, I don't know, 50 cents. But 1,000,000 would be $500,000, right? Per year. And I would only need a farm the size of like a 1/4 acre, which is like nothing, like a football field size, which is like cheap in Sri Lanka. You can buy that land outside of the city, you know what I mean? In a nice location next to a good river and stuff, clean water coming in, no farm pollution and stuff like that. You can get all that and set it up. Done. Make money. What's a dahi? I have no idea. Also, I'm staying sober today because I might have to drive. I sell breeding pairs. I have L41 Precos, bro. Flynn, I'm trying to breed them right now. Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not even trying. They're gonna breed in the next couple. They might have even bred. I'm gonna look. Okay. You're good. Can you produce towel? Yes. Actually, Fanatic Al. Okay. What you want to do is contact Boondock Threads. Tell her you are a subscriber and you want a towel with the pleco on it, and she'll custom do it for you. They do custom work, so anything you want, you know what I mean, just talk to her. It's not a problem. Yeah, Flynn, I'm working with the 401, so I can make a video on it if you want. Let me know. I can give you all the information. I haven't bred them yet, but they're gonna breed in the next couple of days. I feel good. November is a good month. Even my fish that died, 3 of the females out of the 4 biggest ones, like the ones that was in the breeder box, 1 was a male. The 3 females in that breeder box were all gravid, and the female that died last night after was also gravid. So all 4 of them were full of eggs, and one of the females that died last couple of days ago was also gravid. So yeah, I'm pretty sad about that. Yeah, Rohan, don't tell your dad to sell the land. Tell your dad to keep the land. No, I would not put the L401s with the zebras. Because your 401s will outcompete your zebras because they're like twice the size. They get big. Mine are about that big. You know, where my zebras are about that big. So, not just in length, they're like big, robust fish. My fish are like bullies. Like, they're in with the L56 right now. And I feel bad for my L56 because the 401s bully the shit out of them. They're so mean. They're like these big, bullyish fish. So, you gotta be really careful with them because you really have to manage aggression. They're okay with each other, definitely fine, but not with smaller plecos. You know, I'm worried about my baby L56 also that I put in there the other day because I'm kind of thinking about it now and I'm like, they might not be good in there, so might have to get on top of that also. Chance McCormick. Yes, I do. I have breeding pairs of angelfish right now. I have breeding pairs of rams. You want to see a breeding pair of rams? Ready to sell. These guys are $40 a pair. I ship all over Canada. They're about to lay eggs. Look at her. She's gorgeous. She's really pretty. They're going to lay eggs on this thing. They just cleaned that side. Can you see the clean part? They cleaned up that whole section. That's where she's going to lay eggs. That's where she feels the safest. Because there's air movement, lots of oxygen happening here, water movement. They can defend that part. There's another pair in here. See, there's another male. A lot of visual barriers, you know. Lots of things to keep them separated from each other. There's some corridors. And they breed naturally. They're quite easy to breed. And I have them for sale for $40 a pair. I have about 30 pairs of rams. Every single one of my tanks has at least 1 or 2 pairs. So probably a little bit more than 30 pairs. Plus, I just got 100 more from Fish Easy yesterday. Like, he has thousands of these guys. So I'm buying them 100 at a time from him. And I'm helping him sell them. I'm buying them from him and I'm, you know, selling them like as pairs or individually, you know. Where do I get my flower pots? Home Depot. Hardware store. Yes, color guppies. I do. I have angel pairs for sale right now. Look, I have this pair for sale. Hold on. There we go. These guys are for sale. I really want to keep them. There's some eggs in there that didn't work out because there's other fish. Oh, they do have fry. They did manage to. So this is a proven pair actually. And they're breeding with other fish. I don't have space for them, so I'm selling those guys $100 a pair for my channel members. Come pick them up. If you want them shipped, I can ship them all across Canada, no problems. Ship them through Reptile Runner actually if you want. It'd be like $60 I think to Winnipeg, but $80 to 100 to East and West Coast. You know, wherever you are across Canada, I can ship them to you. And right now is the best time to ship them because it's not too cold. You don't want to ship them after December, so let me know. Pleco Fever says store. What are you feeding them? Predominantly Dr. Basileir and bug bites right now, and also Ebo for the Plecos. So it's three different foods for the Plecos. With the angelfish and the rams, it's usually Basileir's, bug bites, tubiflex, worm cubes, and brine shrimp, freeze-dried brine shrimp cubes. So it's all dry food, but the tubiflex and the brine shrimp are the different things that the rams and the angels get. So the cichlids and the Plecos and the catfishes get Ebo and discus food most of the time, which the other fish most of the time don't get. But you know, if they're in the same tank, they all eat the same thing. Yes, I love that, Josh, and welcome. How are you? Chance says beta breeding pairs. Yes, we are getting 150 new betas. Okay, on what's going on, Arjun? On this weekend, this coming weekend. So in less than 7 days, we'll have an unboxing live. All y'all can watch it. let's get the fish, open them up live. You'll see them. You can pick them right then and there. You can comment on the thing, or you can message me. Like all my channel members or anybody that's already in the loop of what's how to buy fish from me. It's very exclusive. You know, you see the fish, you screenshot it on the live stream or take a picture of it with your phone and message me either through text, Facebook, or whatever, and say, yo, I want that fish, okay? And I can reserve you the fish and you come pick it up, or that same week I'll ship them out to you through Reptile Express or through whatever method we've agreed to ship with. Okay? So this is like how it's gonna happen, and a lot of the fish at this time are gonna be sold before they even hit the floor. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to hold on to them, except for the fish that I want. You know, and a few fish that I might keep to retail, just because, you know, like they're gonna send us some gift fish and whatever. So if anybody wants anything, be ready to watch the live stream either live or the next morning and screen cap the exact fish. Send me a message, because after the live stream we'll be tired. Me and Play Coffee will go crash. What's going on, Maria? Oh my God, yes. The Husketeers. What discus food do you feed your Plecos? Pleco special. I also feed the discus food, the red one. I forgot the name of it. I don't have it right now, but that one's great. I used to feed it to my Zebs and they'd spawn like wild. This stuff is great also. I wouldn't feed too much of this, just because it's a power food. It's similar to Ebo. I just have to realize I can't overfeed it. That's the only thing. So when you do it, especially with babies and stuff, you can have issues. But great food. Yeah, so it's gonna be great. So Pleco Fever agrees. We're gonna be tired after the live stream, so we're gonna crash that night or morning. It'll be like early morning at like 5-6 o'clock, and then when I wake up my phone's gonna be blown up. I'm gonna turn off my ringer because I probably wouldn't get to sleep all day if I leave my phone on, because it's gonna start ringing from like 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, that's when people start messaging me for fish or fish related stuff usually. Well, actually that's not true. People start messaging me at like the middle of the night, because there's people in Australia, right? People in Australia like Craig will be messaging me at like 4 in the morning. Like, look at my new fish I got. I'm like, Craig, come on, bro. I'm trying to go to sleep. I can't turn off my phone because I want my phone to wake me up when I have to wake up. Can I ship to the UK? No, unfortunately, no. Discus Grand is great, actually. I love that one. What's going on, Jerome? Jerome, yeah. There we go. Sorry, buddy. I'm having a brain fart day. Pleco special is good. Yeah. Yes, it's premium food. It's not even discus food. That's true. Thank you, Pleco Fever. We both feed the same stuff. What's going on, Kenzie Logi? Rohan wants to know if I heat the whole room or individual tanks. No, I heat the whole room. To heat individual tanks, it would cost me about $500 a month instead of like $20 a month. Secondarily, it also is much better on my electrical bill, heater malfunctions and all that stuff, and you know, so heat whole room. Speaking of heating, I got a letter from the electrical company saying that my energy rebate expired. So nothing too bad, because I have to call them back and tell them I'm actually a poor person. I don't have a lot of money, you know. I mean, reality is, like, I live in a big city. I pay a lot of rent, and I'm really not that rich compared to everybody else that lives around me, you know. So they're like, yeah, poor guy, give you like a rebate, right? I want that rebate. So I have to call them and you know, beg them for like my rebate again for the next 2 years. So yeah, but that's something I have to do. S says S Takur. Thank you. Everybody that came from Weiss, thank you so much. There's so many of you guys on. Well, I mean, I live alone. It's not like I have anybody else going in my fridge and drinking out of this, right? I'm gonna finish this tonight. It's pretty much almost done, actually. I just opened it too. Like, it's 3/4 done. and it tastes so bloody good. It's like liquid sugar. It's probably not healthy. I know it's called a health food, but it's probably not healthy to drink 1 liter of this stuff. It's made in Canada, which is good. Like they have the little Canadian flag. Mwah. Rubicon. I wonder how they make it in Canada. Okay, from domestic and imported ingredients. Because Canada does not grow any mangoes. Yo, I mean seriously though, Pleco Fever's mom makes me food, so we have similar food taste, definitely. Aw. What's going on, S? Did I miss something? Did I miss something? I'm going back up now. Leo's doing water changes. I need to get on top of that too. So no more fish die. I don't like my fish die, and that was really sad, guys. About to open my Monster Energy, feed the fish, and do water changes. That's pretty much my plan as soon as this is done. Toronto time. Can I ship to India? No, unfortunately. Canada-wide only, and once a month to the US. Alright. Oh, give me 30 seconds. This is the guy trying to pick up the fish. Hey. Hi. Are you on your way back? 8 o'clock? Yeah, that's perfect, bro. That works. I have time to get them ready. Yeah. Yeah, and I will give you ice boxes. Don't worry, I got you covered. Yeah. I'll bring ice boxes, and I'll bring the water and the fish in buckets, and I'll pour it into the container so you can tell me how much, you know? Okay. I'll see you then. Call me before you leave. Yeah. Perfect. Alright. Bye. Yeah. Sorry. So, sorry about that. So he's running late, which is good. What temperature do I keep my sebs? Right now at about, you can check. Give me 30 seconds. Let's find out. People wonder if I trust my trusty little gun here, and we will find out actually if that's actually true also. It says 83 degrees. Let's find out. 84.4. Well, that's actually because I just turned this down a few hours ago. Not even an hour ago. It was at 85, so that makes sense. But I do trust my gun. That didn't work out the way I planned, but in here, the temperature is 85.0. See? The reason for that is because the tank was actually, the room was actually warmer. Earlier, I had the temperature set for 86 degrees until about a few hours ago, until I brought the fish into the room. And then I realized it's actually quite warm in here. And today is a warmer day than usual, so then I turned it down to 83 degrees Fahrenheit. So the room is now slowly dropping in temperature. The thermostat says 83 because that's the air temperature, but the walls, the tanks, everything else is still warmer than the air. So it's going to take about another 4 or 5 hours for everything else to cool down to the temperature that the air is. At that point is where my zebra plate will spawn, which is what I'm trying to do right now because my eggs have hatched. I'm trying to get another trapping tonight. So that's why I actually dropped the temperature on the thermostat. You know, trying to play with it a little bit. So they usually live at about 85 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think is about 29.5 Celsius. Yeah, 29.5 Celsius is where I keep them when they're not spawning or laying eggs. When they're laying eggs, I bring them down to 83 degrees Fahrenheit, or a little lower than that, which is about 28.3 Celsius, which is about 82.2 or something like that. That's where like I like to bring to, and then once I bring to that, they trap, they spawn. Once they spawn, I bring it back up to like what you just saw. Hope that answers the question. What plant can I keep in my tinfoil and serums won't eat up? Probably not much. Like Anubias might work. Duckweed they might eat also, so I can't really. Sorry. Oh yeah. Honestly, let me try to get few questions. What's the best tips to get SIBs spawn? Honestly, bro, there's not a lot to do. I have 37 videos explaining this. Just watch the playlist. Everything is explained. The pH, the TDS, the water temperatures, how to play with the water temperatures up and down, what food I feed, how to feed the babies, how to raise the eggs, how to take the cave out, what to do with the cave, you know what I mean, how not to spook the male when he has eggs, how to know when he has eggs, all that is explained. It's very extensive. It's done with another friend, two other people actually, Dr. Thomas and Aquapol, who are from Belgium and Poland. They're both master breeders. Thomas is the one who helped me the most, as well as help from other master breeders like Yuri from Pleco Ceramics helped out for some of the videos. Huge shout out to Julia Bellens and Rajanta from Bellens Farm. You know what I mean? They helped out with some of the content. Like, you know, these guys are the masters of this fish. So I took all the information that they were willing to share with me, which was a lot, and I concised a lot of it into the videos. So you guys are not just getting my personal opinion or whatever I think. This is actual, factual, you know, proven data, based content that was collected by not just myself. Also, I contacted Dr. Leandro Souza, who is the person in Altamira, Brazil, in near Zingu, that is doing research with the zebra plateaus. He's the one trying to preserve the river. You know, like his videos and stuff are pretty great. They're in Portuguese. I contacted him. We talked quite a bit back and forth. Got him to give me water measurements at the river at the time of spawning, so I can give you guys precise data on that. Talked to a few other people that have been to the river, that have measured the river at different times. Some of the fishermen, you know what I mean? Like, so I did a lot of research on the animal, and so what you're getting in those 37 videos is free of charge. Anybody can watch it. It's a playlist on my channel. People tell me I should charge money for it because everybody that has watched that playlist that has zebra plecos and they've applied the skills have spawned them and got back to me and reported, you know, like very, very positively. So hopefully it helps. If you have any specific questions, I can help out at that point, you know what I mean? But like it's quite extensive, so like I recommend watching through it, and you will get success, like guaranteed, basically. Not just because I say it, but because this is what everybody else is also doing, you know? 503, thank you so much. I love you too. We're Facebook friends now. I was pretty excited for that. You have like, you live in a nice neighborhood or like forested area. Like I saw her picture the other day. I thought it was a redwood forest. It turns out it wasn't. What's a dream fish for me? I don't know. I kind of have my dream fish. I like the fish that I have. These platinum angels, definitely something I love. The red angels that I just got, I definitely love those. I definitely need to work on their genetics a little bit, incorporate their color into my genetics and enhance my lines, whatever. But those are some of my favorites. My zebra plecos, definitely. The fish that died, the L260s, I mean, they're one of my absolute favorites. German rams, something I've loved since I was a little kid. I read in a book. I saw my first German ram when I was like 7 years old, or maybe 8. No, 7, 6 or 7. You know, I was like grade 1, right? So 6 years old. And it was called the butterfly ram in the book. But the picture was an actual ram, you know. This is probably one of the first pictures ever taken of the fish. you know, and it was like really like in vivid color. So I'm like going through this book. There was one fish that stood out to me, and I like loved that thing. And yeah, so I wanted them like since then, you know. So when I first got them, I was like maybe 15 or 16. I saw them at the pet store. I had gotten my first tank. That was one of the first fish that I picked up from the pet store, and they started breeding. I don't know. I don't know why. Okay, it's just fish. I think Graham Stephen got it right. Everything around me breeds. Even my friends. You know, they always say that. You know, like all my friends, they all have kids and stuff. You know, all this stuff. So it's not a bad thing. You know, if I'm a good luck charm for reproduction. You know, I'm like the fertility goddess without the tits. uh, but yeah, Discus definitely won. What's going on? Yeah, Maria has been here. Shannon, yes, that's Lady Metalhead, I'm assuming. And I don't know who Jess is. What's going on, Ozzy? Bye, Olivia. What's going on, Thomas? I know, kid. You gotta go to bed. What an awesome guy you are. Oh no. Good night. Okay? Have fun at school. Honestly though, like it's just what it is. Like I don't know what to call it. I think my philosophy is if I want to keep my animals happy, you know what I mean? So I that's my main. Okay, Lady Metalhead, Jess. Hi, how are you? It's good to meet. Craig, if I need breeder resin, I think I should be the breeder resin. No, no. Oh my God, me and Craig have jokes though. Like there's stuff that happens, you know, outside of well, I guess it's still in the fish realm, but outside of YouTube channel. Where do you buy your fish tanks? I buy my fish tanks on Kijiji, secondhand, used tanks. So basically, I find that this is one hobby where people get into and get out real fast. What's going on, Ames? Oh my God, you're crazy. How many animals are you gonna pick up? Every time she goes to New York, she's bringing something new home. Like, I think I think David's a bad influence on you. No. You can find if you go merch. So for merch, you just have to message Katie. The website's up, okay? So it's I actually can't remember the name of the website, but it's up now. I'll get her to post it, okay? Or unless one of my moderators remember it and post it. You know, I'm not doing any of this stuff, okay? You guys gotta remember, I have a job. I have to go to work, and then I have to come home and take care of fish. So Katie's dealing with all the merch, the website, the email list, everything else, you know, all that stuff. I'm only doing the going to work, which is what I have to do, making YouTube videos and making sure my fish are fed and tanks are clean. That's all I'm in charge of. And shipping fish and receiving fish, you know. And Ames got a new cat. Kidding. So but yeah, she's in charge of that. It's Boondock Threads with a Z at gmail.com. Email her. Get yourself on the mailing list or email list, and she'll send you all the links on the merch. She'll send you the website link to the merch. She'll send you how to buy it, and it's also aquamalik.ca. I think is it should work, but I don't know if it's still connected to it or not. If they have gotten around to it. Because I haven't been on top of that. That's just not what I'm doing. You know what I mean? That's something they're doing for me, and I'm just saying, okay, thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, there we go. There. Oh, there. Thank you so much, Fish Easy, Michael. That's the website. boondogthreads.ca/aquamarine, and you can go buy anything you want. Um, there we go. Thank you. What's my filtration setup? Sponge filters. Sponges. The main filtration I have is these things. These are Hamburg Matron filters. It's a fancy way of saying big sponge filter. You know what I mean? Really and truly, it's what it is. It's a giant sponge. It's 10 centimeters across, um, about 40 centimeters tall, which is how tall this tank is. Maybe a couple more centimeters up higher than 40. Um, and there is actually one of these lift tubes which you can buy on Amazon installed. So this is actually designed for underground filter. I just buy these from Amazon for $5 each. I buy like 20 of them at a time. I have a whole bag of them sitting around in the fishing somewhere, and a whole bunch of these single ones because not all my tanks are running. So I've been using this to actually show people how I set up my filter. And then essentially what happens, I'll actually show you the filter setup. It's quite easy and it's quite cheap. And Leo, if you are watching, I think this is important for you. So this is for my channel member Leo also, because you were at Swiss Tropics trying to buy these. I bought this sponge for $12 Canadian off of eBay. Okay, so $12. It's from China and $1.50 to ship it. So it total cost was $13.50. Okay, and this was a much bigger sponge. So it was about that long, and also on the bottom it was about that long. It was 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters. $12 and $1.50 for shipping, so $13.50, maybe $14 in total. Okay, $4.99. You can probably buy these for cheaper because I bought a bag of these. I think 12 of them for like $50 or less. Okay, I think like 40 something. So it was really cheap for these also. And it's extendable. So if you have a tall tank, if you have a short tank, okay, this works really well. And just a simple airline goes through from the top. All this stuff is already drilled. You don't have to do anything. Okay, you cut this sponge to the size of your tank, this is actually one that fits into this tank. Okay, so it will sit in the tank like this, and you take this, right, and you stick it through the hole right there. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, and then water comes out of here once you put air through here. So push air through here, pushes air down this tube all the way down, and then as the air is coming back up, it's pushing water with it, and that water pushes up the tube now and builds momentum. By the time it comes up to here, it's like high pressured water and squirts out of this side high pressure. So a lot of pressure of water is coming out of here. Okay, and that's the basic principle. It works really well. And since I get a 50 centimeter sponge and there's a lot of pieces left over, I just cut the extra pieces and attach them here and here, so that I have this whole thing is a big giant 10 centimeter sponge that is 20 or 30 or 40 centimeters tall, which is the height of your tank. Okay, and it works great. It's perfect, and they last forever. You don't have to, like, none of my Madden filters have had to change, take out, clean, nothing. Like, you just set it up and forget it. You know what I mean? The only maintenance that you might have to do in one of these is periodically cleaning this air hole, because if you have hard water, like sometimes with me this happens too, because my water is relatively, it's not the softest now because the city also put in dumping garbage into it. This gets clogged up with calcium carbonate, so it clogs up. So you might have to put a pin in there and clean up the calcium bunk. That's all the maintenance it needs. So what you would do at that point is unhook this from the connection there, from the sponge, unplug this part, pull out the wire, the airline, clean the bottom, put the airline back, connect it, plug it, and forget it. Okay? You might have to do that twice a year. Maybe, depending on how hard your water is. I mean, I'm probably haven't had to do that too many times. Not even in all my tanks. It's just some tanks, sometimes it happens. So, something to keep in mind. Yeah. Yes, sir. Craig knows because he has multiple tanks also. They have a very nice fish room. You guys should follow his channel, Olivia and Dad's Fish Room. Olivia is very young and she's quite successful at breeding the fish. Craig is her dad. He's my friend and he's a really good master breeder. And they do have great water, gotta say, but he does know what he's doing. And he's the one maintaining the fish room and doing all the setups and stuff. So if you have questions, he'll probably be answering a lot of your questions, even though you're gonna see Olivia on the videos more because she's the one presenting and stuff, and it's her fish room at the end of the day, but Craig is the one doing a lot of the work. So if you have questions, you can ask him and stuff. So good idea to follow them and check out their channel also. Swiss Tropics is good, but I mean, $12 you can't beat. Swiss Tropics will charge you like an arm and a leg for that same size sponge. But the good thing about, I do like Swiss Tropics. I know the owners and I've used their products and I have a lot of their products in here also. That giant sponge that I have, like that big, I got it from them. You know, it's like $37 or something. They're great. I'm not saying no. Swiss Tropics is great. The only difference is when you buy the sponge on Amazon, you're saving money. And the lift tube that I bought on Amazon was only $4.99, whereas Swiss Tropics charges like $13 or $14 for that. So that's the only difference. Yeah, the price. I'm a cheap person. I have to cut costs. Hey Heather, sorry I didn't respond to you properly yesterday, but I was like not in the right headspace. Yeah. So anybody that just came in, including Heather, these are the new fish we got. Dun, 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 dun. And there they are. Cute, right? They're platinum, pearl scale, Veiltail angels. So there's a dead one. So one died. There's another dead one. So two died. But everybody else is doing great. So I'm going to, and these are the new fish I got yesterday from Michael. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to Fish Easy. Help him out. Asu, welcome. Thank you. Definitely. This is the fish I got last week. This is the fish I got the week before. They're paired up. So these fish are related to the fish you just saw. They're actually siblings. These are brothers and sisters of the fish in that tub. These just were born this year, in the beginning of the year. Those were just born a few months ago, like a month ago. And these are some other fish. So this fish, this fish, this fish, and this fish are the fish I sent to Montreal last week. Remember I sent 10? He sent me back these 4 females. He wants different females. And then these 2 are a pair he sent to me. And he sent me this blue marble to pair up with a suitable male if I have one, because my friend doesn't have a male for her. So we're friends, and this is what we do. We send fish back and forth. Now I'm going to send him today all the baby angels that I have, about 150 to 200, as well as at least 4 females, 3 red, and 1 black. Mike says Malik making people go crazy for freshwater fish. I think people are already crazy for freshwater fish. I'm just facilitating the addiction, you know. And it's a good addiction to have. Like, I've been addicted to other substances, you know what I mean? From personal experience, I definitely can tell you that being addicted to keeping fish is a good addiction compared to like being addicted to like drugs or something, or other things, you know what I mean, like sugar or whatever, which I don't have a problem with, but you definitely need to cut down. Oh my god, this thing is like liquid sugar. Tastes so good. I'm a fish nerd. I'm a fish influencer. That's what they're saying. Yeah, Kenneth, you need to have. I mean, a lot of the tank bred varieties can adapt to living in harder water, but getting them to breed is a completely different story. I know a lot of people tell you that they have angels breeding at 8.4, this and that, all kinds of stuff. Um, but there could be other factors in that, Everybody's water is different, but from my experience at least, um, if the water pH is above like 7.5, 7.7, it's very unlikely that any of your eggs will survive. I'm pretty sure there are other people that have different experiences, but in my experience, because I've lived in different places with different water chemistries over the years, and this is one thing that consistently tried to breed or have bred, so I have a pretty good experience with them, but there are other fish you can keep. You can keep African cichlids with no problem. Why don't you? uh, Bernard, yeah, like here's the thing. There are some people I do allow in here, but very rarely. Like I said on the video, you know what I mean? That's why I make videos, so people can see the fish instead of having to have them come in my house, because I don't like people in my house. I have a big dog, first of all, so you gotta be like okay with dogs and stuff, and then she has to be okay with you. There's a few different things that go into it. What's going on, Julian? Yes, the sixaquatics.ca. It's my friend's store. So if you go buy fish from him, send him a DM and say, yo, I sent you. He'll hook you up. And he's a really great guy. Fish are great. Super healthy. Almost all the fish I have in my fish room, except for the zebra plecos, or the fish that were, born in my fish room, are all from him. Mine is the angelfish, obviously, but oh my god. There we go. Good. Yes, I do, Peng. I have a nice breeding group, and I think there might be fry in the tank. I haven't been paying attention to my 134s, unfortunately. I clean the water, I test the pH, the TDS. I just put nitrate resin in there the other day, so like I do that stuff, but they're in the bottom tank. It's not. They are one of my favorite fish. It's just not something I've been focusing on. I'm just waiting till they start breeding because I have a young group, and they have bred for me like this year. So yeah, I guess I am breeding them. Good one, Craig. 13 hours, yeah, buddy. I mean, with the time change, it might actually be 14 hours because now we're doing this stupid 1 hour ahead, right? Well, you guys do it too, right? I don't know. I don't like it. But yeah, 13-hour flight later. You can't find nitrate. Mike says he can't find nitrate resin on Amazon. It is there. You have to search for anionic nitrate removing resin. Google it, okay? What I am gonna do is, Craig will love this one. I'm gonna buy like a 50-kilo bag, and I'll sell it to everybody that wants it. Because I'm gonna need some myself. So I'll buy like a 50-kilo bag myself, or a 50-liter bag, and it's like, I don't know, almost between 600 to $1,000, eh? It's not cheap. So this is why I haven't done it, because I need to have the 600 to $1,000 investment. You know what I mean? To like just throw down on it, right? Yeah. So I'm trying to like manage my investments wisely. And I think this is a good investment because it's going to make my fish tank cleaner too. So I want to have a bag of that stuff in every tank. And so, anywho's, I'll get that and I'll have it available also. But in the meantime, if you need it, look for anionic nitrate removing resin. Or you can contact Carl in the UK and he will not send you the bag because he told me he's going to send me a bag and it's been like a year and he hasn't sent it to me. So. No, yeah, calling it breeder resin is not gonna work. It's not gonna help you breed your fish either. Okay, that's something I think we have to explain, because people assume that when you say, like this resin, you put it in the tank, it's gonna make your fish breed. What it does is it removes excess nitrates from your water. So it doesn't matter how much water changes you do, you cannot get all the nitrates out of your water. It's impossible to take all the nitrates out. This allows you to remove that last remaining bit of nitrate. Ideally, that's what you should be using it for. After you do your water change, to remove that last little bit of nitrate. And also, if you're leaving it in your filter or in your tank over a period of time, it should be ideally for keeping your nitrates closer to zero between your two water changes. So you're not using it as a filter replacement, you're not using it as a replacement to doing water changes, you're not using it to not do water changes, you're not doing any of that things. It's just there to help between the two water changes to keep the nitrates at zero. Okay, Thomas, yes you did, and you're right. I'm gonna sell the resin, okay? I just need $1,000, you know? I'm gonna have to save $1,000. Well, I'm not gonna call it aquamalic breeder resin. I'm just gonna call it nitrate removing resin, which is what it is. It is gonna do that, and then you can regenerate it. I know Nonstop did send me a link on it. So if anybody wants, follow Nonstop Aquatics on Instagram or send him a message through there, I guess after following him, and he will send you the link to the breeder resin on Amazon. It's like $22 for a small bag. But I need more than that bag. I need like 10 of those bags. So it's gonna cost me like $200 still. So I figured I'm gonna buy the bigger bag at once, spend the extra $300, and then I'll have some left over that I can bag and sell for like $20-30 a bag, just like the one on Amazon. No, you don't replace it. It's I'll show you. Where is my resin? Okay. Hold on. I'll show you guys what happens. Okay. Pulling this out. So. Alright. Alright. This is my nitrate resin. Okay, see the gunk? That's all the gunk it collected over the period. This is just gunk on the top, but if you look inside, the resin is no longer white. Okay, so this is now, I would say, exhausted resin. Okay, so let's call this exhausted resin. What I do is I put this in a container like this. So let's say this exact container could work. My hand is disgusting. Alright, there we go. Alright. So I would fill this, because this is a small container, with 1 liter of tap water. Okay, so water from my faucet, 1 liter, and 100 grams of salt. Okay? Now if this could hold 2 liters of water, I would fill this with 2 liters of tap water and 200 grams of salt. So the ratio is 100 grams of salt per 1 liter of water. So if you're using 4 liters, you use 400 grams of salt. And this is what Thomas also told me, and he taught me this method. Okay, so basically you fill it up, you put the salt, you mix the salt, and you leave it for 24 to 48 hours. I think within 48 hours, most of the nitrates in the resin has now dissipated into the salt. Like it reacts with the salt and removes the nitrates and dissolves into the salt water. So the resin becomes fresh again, and you can put it into a new tank. That's it. And then it will work for another 2 months. Or 2 weeks, depending on how disgusting your tank is. The tank that this came out of had fish dying in it and some other stuff that happened. So, this is disgusting. So I'm going to clean it. What's going on, Big Tank Hank? But in general, this is about a month in, but usually it's about 2 months you have to regenerate it. And you can tell because when you look at it, you will see that it's not white anymore. When this washes out, in 48 hours, this will look completely white, like almost like a off-white eggshell color, you know. So that's what happens. And also, a very important thing you gotta remember is this needs to stay wet. If it dries up, the resin becomes inert and it cannot be used anymore. If it is exposed to air and completely dried up. So it needs to stay wet at all times. No worries, Mike. No rinsing on that. Yeah, once you're done with the salt, you have to wash it with fresh water. What I like to do is I like to wash it about 12 hours under the faucet. I open my faucet with a low stream. I leave that container under the faucet and let it run. Like, and the next morning I take it out, put it in my tank. You know what I mean? Because I'm not paying for water. I live in Ontario. Giant lake pumps water out directly, so we're good. But if I lived in a place where the water was a concern, I would just wash it a few times and get the salt out. Maybe, you know, leave it in a cup of water, a container, like overnight, to get as much of the salt out as possible from the inside, and then, you know, put it into your tank. Jason, California. This is literally, yes, Thomas is exactly correct. A lot of breeders in Germany as well as all over Europe, this is what they swear by. So if you talk to them, they all tell you, and Thomas uses it too. You know, he's the one who convinced me eventually to start using it, and now that I've used it, I would never have aquariums without that. It makes no sense to have an aquarium and not have that. It's the cheapest product. It's not something you have to buy every year or every month. It's not something you have to replace. You get a good bag, you put it in the proper bag, it'll last you 10, 20 years. You know what I mean? It just keeps you regenerating. I don't think it will even be done in 20 years. I'm pretty sure it will last you more than 20 years if the bag lasts you. But the bags probably only last like 20 years, you know what I mean? So, you can get a new bag at that point, if you want. And then put the same resin in. No, it's not called it's called anionic nitrate removing resin. On Amazon, if you want the Amazon link, follow Nonstop Aquatics on Instagram, and he'll send you the link to an Amazon store that has the exact product in the US Amazon store. So. Bro, you gotta message the guy on Instagram. Like, that's the whole point. I don't know. I don't think he can tell you the name because it had a code number on it. He sent me the Amazon link too. Can I speak Tamil, singular, or both? I can understand both languages quite well. Sinhalese a little bit more. Tamil as well. Speaking wise, if I'm around people for long enough, then yes. But like, not like right at this moment, because, you know, it's not like, I don't really like, it's not my first language, either one of those. So unfortunately no, but I can understand both really well. Jerome doesn't have IG. I don't know if Nonstop can put the link up in here, but he did send it to me through Facebook. So it's an Amazon link. But yeah, it works really well. Bronx Bombers a silica nitrate remover. No, it's just resin. It's just resin. Theoretically, it can. Rohan. So Rohan wants to know if nitrate resin reduces your water changes. Theoretically, yes. Not in practicality, because you saw what happened when I missed the water change with my 260 tank yesterday. This is the downside to using something like the nitrate resin. So when you're using nitrate resin, you check your nitrates, it shows 0. You know what I mean? So if your pH is within an ideal range and your nitrates are 0, you don't need to do a water change. You can go weeks without doing a water change. But it's not just your nitrates that accumulate in your tank. There's phosphates that accumulate and other things, and acids start building up. So when you're just relying on your nitrate test, which shows 0, or 5 ppm, you're like, okay, I only have to do a water change when my nitrates are elevated. My nitrates are not elevated. No need to do a water change. A week goes by and your pH now goes to unsafe level, like what happened in my tank. Fish die, and you're like, how did my fish die? My nitrates are within reasonable levels. My ammonia is 0, my nitrite is 0, and all these things. And then you check the pH, especially if you're using a pH master kit, like the API, for example. Heather was saying it only goes down to 6, which is true. I have one also. So you think, yeah, your pH is 6. It's within ideal ranges. Why is your fish dying? Your pH actually in your tank could be 3.5 or 3.8 or 4, which is where your fish start dying. And but your test kit doesn't test that low. So that's another factor, right? So this is why I always say that if you're using resin, you still have to do water changes. There you go. Thank you, Ames. Yeah, but Jonathan, plants don't remove nitrates to 0. Like, I have heavily planted tanks. So the thing about plants is, even if it's a heavily planted tank, it usually stays at about 20 ppm or a little bit lower sometimes, okay? Because remember, plants need to absorb it from the water, and to absorb from the water has to have nitrates. So with resins, it literally becomes 0. My plants start dying in my tank from lack of not having enough nitrates. You know what I mean? When I put resin and I forget to remove it in some tanks, you guys might have seen it, and the plants just look like sorry, like really bad. And then I move the resin over, and within a week they bounce back. So it takes up like to such a low degree, which is good, which is what we want. Kenneth says 6 pH, one can only drink. Actually, 6 pH is not that difficult to achieve. I'm more scared of lower pHs. I'm scared of 4. I'm scared of 4.5 or lower. Anything below 5, I'm terrified, actually, to be completely honest. Above 5, I don't care. Like right now, my L134 tank is at about 5.9. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But that means I have to like stay on top of it this week. I can't just slack. So every day I gotta check. These 2 tanks, I'm bringing up the pH to like 7. This one I'm tearing down in the next couple of days. So it's in the process of tearing down. It's still running, but there's still fish in there. But I've reduced the water level to 50%, so that I personally know that this has to get done this week. What's going on, Jackson? Yeah, no, that's a little high, so. Yes, sir. Get a pH meter, and make sure you trust your pH meter by testing the pH meter alongside known products. Like, stick it in a can of Coke. See if you're getting the pH that you're supposed to get. Stick it in a bottle of vinegar. You know what I mean? And see if you're getting 3.0. Stick it in like your tap where the pH is like, let's say 8 or 7.8 or whatever it is, and see how that test stands up to those different pHs. And if it works in those pH ranges and you're good, then you can trust it. So Jonathan asks, are plants and resin dangerous together? No, not necessarily. So if you are using nitrate removing resin in a planted tank, you just have to remove the resin within a couple of days. So you put the resin in, right? Ideally after a large volume water change. So you do like a 40% water change, you remove as much of the nitrates as you can humanely with the water change, and then you put your resin in, okay? And then 3-4 days will go by, and you will notice that your nitrates have dropped. Like if you test your nitrates, it will probably show like 5 ppm or 0 ppm, okay? Because it will drop to a level where it's not detectable by your nitrate API test kit anymore, right? So at that point, your nitrates are like good, and then you can take the resin out and put it in another tank, and then we'll do the same thing in the other tank. You know what I mean? And then you can keep doing that over and over. But if you leave the resin in the tank, let's say for a month, being at 0 ppm nitrate, especially your like if you're not feeding the tank like the plants with like added like chemicals and stuff, which is probably not something a lot of us are doing unless you have like this one of those like planted tanks specifically for plants. You're not feeding the plants, so they will start feeling the negative effects of not having any food for 1 month. So that's the bottom line to that. But like for in short term, no, it's not a problem at all to your plants. You can just throw the resin in for like 5 days. After water change, take it out, put another tank. Leave it 5 days in there. Take it out, put another tank. So you don't need a lot of this stuff either, and you just keep regenerating it, right? Like I have 2 bags of resin. 2, okay? I have 2 bags of resin. And I have 30 tanks running, and those 2 bags are all I use in all my tanks. I just move them from tank to tank to tank to tank to tank. It's that simple. Hi Tim's Fish Room. What do I measure to measure? What do I use to measure pH? I use a test pen. I don't know where the hell it is right now, but it is in here right now. There it is. It's from Amazon. This particular one is called a Presiva or Presiva ATC. Okay, so that's the one. I really like this particular one. There are things I don't like about it. The thing I don't like about it is that I had to turn it on and off manually. It doesn't turn off on its own. So if I forget to turn this bad boy off, it dies on you overnight. What's going on, too, Coolie for Schoolie? So you can buy this on my Amazon store. The link is down there. It helps me out when you guys go through my Amazon link. You don't have to buy stuff that's on the Amazon store. If you go through the link and then you start shopping from there, I still get a referral, like 2 cents every time you buy something type of deal, which helps me out, you know what I mean? So hook a brother up if you want to do that, but this is from Amazon. No affiliation in that sense. It's just an ATC. Presiva. Yeah, it's a good one though. I like this one quite a bit. I have had other ones. Another thing I recommend is having a couple of them. Have like 2 or 3. It's like $20 each, so it's gonna cost you $60. But then you can test one next to the other. So like if you're not getting the same reading between 2 of them, you know that one of them is off, or both of them could be off. But if you have 3, then you're getting the same reading out of 2, then you know those 2 are good, right? Like, and what I do is I use this, a litmus paper, and my API test kit. So I usually depend on this every day. But if I read something and it looks off, like if I'm reading something and like when I first tested my tap water lately and it said 8, I said, damn, that's not right. That it just could, how do you explain it going up a half a degree from 7.5 to 8? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense. So I assumed this was off by a half a degree, or something happened, I had to recalibrate it, whatever. But before doing that, I stuck a litmus paper in there, checked, and it showed 8. I did my API master test kit, showed 8 again, and I said, okay, damn, my pH in my tap has gone up, over the last few months or a year, whatever. So I know this works in that sense, but you gotta test it though. That's something to keep in mind also. Some of these are shit. Like this one I've had for almost 2 years now. I really like this one. I've had to replace the batteries. So sometimes, because they've been made like a few years ago, you might have to buy the batteries. What I recommend is buy one with extra batteries, the calibration solution, and a calibration pen. Okay, so there's a little thing that needs to stick in there, and then you can use it to calibrate the pen with the calibration solution that they sent you, And Bernard, can you please talk about your air pump setup? Well, there's nothing to talk about. I have one air pump. I'll show you what it is. Okay, so Bernard wants to know about how I run my air. Look at it, okay? There's one air pump. It's a linear piston, 1 horsepower, motor. Okay, there it is. It's called Gemco 60. I think this is the size is 60, which means 60 liters per minute, and it's attached to a central loop running around the room. Also from Gemco. So these pieces were custom built by John, who is the owner of Gemco. So he built these whole parts for me. And there, next one. This one here, which I'm not using yet. The one over there. So this is not for this fish room. This is designed for a much larger fish room. But it goes around the whole room. Yeah, it's quite economic. The whole air system is 87 watts, and for the most time of the year, especially when I don't have all my breeder boxes running and stuff, I have to have a bleed valve. I have a bleed valve. I'll show you guys. So there's a bleed valve up there. I don't know if you guys can see it. You see that little red valve right there? And there's like a little thing underneath. And let me go close to it. Hopefully my Wi-Fi doesn't drop, but see that thing? Okay, so that's a bleed valve. So when I don't have all of these breeder boxes that I have right now, all around the fish room, when let's say half of them are not running, I have to turn that on and bleed air, so that the pressure is not too much, because this pump is really strong. It produces quite a bit of air pressure, you know, and it's really good. It can push air all the way 6 feet into a tank, deep into the tank. So it's really high quality, and you can do that with this many tanks. Even John, the guy who I bought the pump from, Gemco. You guys, if you're in the US or Canada, check out Gemco. Shameless supporting plug. I'm not getting paid for it. They're my friends. They're the ones who did that. I buy food from them. I've been buying stuff from them since I was very young. Since I've been in Canada, actually. It's North America's fish room support store. Essentially, that's what I call it. You want to run a fish room? You need to be in touch with Gemco. They got the stuff, the pumps, the manifolds, food, inexpensive grow out food, all the little hoses you need, everything. Great. So. Heather knows. Yes, that is exactly what those are. It's the same type of pump. This is actually this pump can be used for a grow room, like a big grow room or a big fish room. Essentially, it's a 60 liter per minute. So there's the link. Yes, thank you so much. I got my first L46 today. Congratulations, Hugo. Good. Try to get at least 10 fish, because you're gonna have better chance with 10 fish than a couple of fish, you know? Trust me on that. Shipping to Canada is not that bad. Like, my entire air system, the pump, the manifolds, all the fittings, not the hoses. I got the hoses myself from Home Depot. And the barb fittings, I got them myself. But they sent me the pump, the filters for the pump, the replacement filters for the pump, the connector to the manifold, to the main connector, the hoses, the clamps, all that, the bleed valve, the connectors for the bleed valves, all the connectors for every single manifold that I bought, plus manifolds for 96 taps. So like individual 96 taps. So that's how many taps I have, okay? In this room right now. So I can run 96 tanks out of this. All of it costed me about $1,000 Canadian, including shipping. Shipping was like $300 or something, so it wasn't that bad. You know, it's pretty nice. I loved it. Actually, no, it came up to 1,300 Canadian. It was like 900 something American in total. So the total for me was 1,300, and 1,000 of that was for the material, and 300 of that Canadian was for shipping. So it wasn't bad at all. I love it. There you go. That's the same pump I have. LPH 60. Yeah, so mine is the one size bigger than yours. So maybe 80, you know? So it's the same pump though, like it's just a little bit bigger, you know? I know. You just call them. Just call them and you talk to John. Usually like there's two ladies there. I know them by name also. Like I know both of them. I just can't remember on top of my head right now. I have contact written down in my Rolodex. I don't know whatever you call that thing. And I have the ladies' names and stuff. It's all on my email and stuff. And when I call, like I think one is I forgot her name. I'm not gonna just randomly call her the name, but they're awesome. You just talk to them. They tell you exactly. Fish food wise, you can talk to anybody in there usually, but with the air pump stuff, you have to talk to John. He knows his stuff, and he's the one to talk to. Let me actually check the temperature in my boxes here. 75 degrees. It's not warm enough. My tanks are at 82, so it's another half an hour maybe I can get them in. Ego says, yes, that's a good price also for 1.5 inch fish. 70 euros is about $100, so that's what I saw them for also. At like 1 inch. Yes, and Fish Easy has a very nice fish room, and you guys really should follow his subscribe to his channel to help him out to get to 1,000, and also generally for the valuable content that he produces. You know what I mean? So let's help Fish Easy get to 1,000, and also check out his videos so you can learn a lot of different stuff that I'm not making videos of. I'm actively not going to make videos on blue rams. So if you guys want to learn about blue rams breeding, that's who you need to go to, because he's the guy that I'm getting my blue rams from. So why should I make videos about Jackson? Thank you so much for being here, bro. What size do you think? So Nonstop found a really nice breeder box. Actually excited to get that. It's a turtle tank filter, but I can see so many applications, especially because it has a tray. You know what I'm talking about? That tray you were talking in the middle? Because I can think of having baby plecos in the top part, and then all the poop will go down to the bottom, so I don't have to worry about cleaning the surface, because it all falls through and keeps them in a nice clean environment the entire time, which is good for baby plecos. So I'm really excited to get my hands on some of that. Anywho, oh yeah, how did that happen? Okay, sorry about that. One of my filters stopped working. I mean, for me personally, the best size is like this. This is like about 10 inches long, 5 inches tall, 4 inches wide. Maybe 5.5 inches tall. I would say that could even be 6 inches. But this size. So the ISTA breeder box, I can measure it and send you dimensions in a bit. Oh right, I was supposed to send you dimensions for the stickfish. I'm sorry, bud. Things got out of hand this week. Oh my god, it really so Jonathan asked me to send him dimensions for the stickfish. A pistol killifish, are you still on there? Because he's the one with the stickfish box at his house. If Apisto is on here, I can ask him, otherwise I'll message him tonight. What's the brand of the heat gun? No name. Unfortunately, there's nothing on there. I guess HTI? Yeah. HTI. HIT. No, HTI. Infrared thermometer. I have a link for this one on my Amazon page too, but there's a few different ones. This one, I really like this one. Because yesterday, Fish Easy was here. He's the one who tested it with my thermostat, and it was great. Do I know anyone that sells nice guppies? Pleco Fever does. Pleco Fever is another master breeder. He lives right close by me. He's the one who gave me my zebra Pleco babies that are in this box for my birthday. Unfortunately, a lot of them passed. I feel really shitty about it. But it is what happened, you know, so. But I really love them. And I have one survivor that's doing well. So I'm going to move him with my group and grow him up. HDI, sir. Yes. Yeah, Pleco Weaver is an amazing breeder. He knows his stuff. And like his zebra Plecos, we got our zebra Plecos at the same time. His started breeding like 6 months before mine actually. At least 6 months to a year. No, not a whole year, but 6 to 9 months before mine started breeding. So his started breeding the beginning of the year. Mine only started breeding like in November or October, or like late September maybe of that same year. So like, yeah, we got the fish at the same time. So yeah, he knows his stuff. But he did have a few older ones, which I did also. So like our fish, we had other fish that were breeding, but the fish we got together, he got those breeding well before me. So he knows his stuff. Hatchery Man says, how do I feed 3-week-old angelfish fry that has been eating BBS? No one's able to feed them. So if you're only going out for 3.5 days, what I recommend is the day before you go, feed them really well, like extremely well, even a little bit extra than what they should be eating. On the day that you leave, feed them as regular. Before you leave, throw a bunch of live baby brine shrimp, and that will feed them till maybe another 12 hours to 14 hours because they've already been very well fed, and the live baby brine should swim about in the tank. You know, you can increase the salt content a little bit so they stay alive longer. Okay, so that will give you about 12 to 14 hours from the time you leave. Okay, and then from there it's only about another 2 days, so 2.5 days, right? They would not die on you at 3 weeks if you don't feed them at all at that size. So you don't have to worry too much. And then when you get back, just stop back feeding, you know? That's the best option. I would recommend for a 3-day trip, 3-week-old baby angelfish, you should be fine. You know, once you feed them heavily the day before, and then also on the day, feed them a good amount, and then right before you leave, you know, like what you would normally feed in brine shrimp, put that amount into the tank. Like, you know what, that would last them for about 12 hours from the time you leave. So then that gives you 3 more days to get back to them. At that point, start feeding again, they should be fine. You might have 1 or 2 that died, but not all of them would die at that size. They don't need to eat like every hour. At that size, they can probably go a week without food and they wouldn't die. But they would be very weak in a week's time, but you know, you can get away with it. No, for sure though, no, I agree. Like he knows his stuff. And if you guys want to buy guppies, contact him because he has the link. No, Heather. Blue rams are the same thing as German rams. So the reason they're called German blue rams is because the fish that you're seeing in the aquarium trade is a line-bred variety of the natural animal. The natural animal is Microgeophagus ramirezi. Basically, it's a geophagus, which means an earth eater, and a Microgeophagus is a mini earth eater. So it's a tiny little earth-eating fish, which means it sifts sand for food. They also spawn on substrate, on the ground, on rocks, and also on leaves and stuff close to the ground level. So you know, you might get spawns inside pots, on sand, you know, all kinds of stuff. It's the same fish. There's other Microgeophagus types. There's one other one that's in the hobby, which is the Bolivian ram. It's a Microgeophagus as well. It's just a different species, closely related to the ramirezi, which is the blue ram. The German blue ram is just the version that was line bred in Germany, and that's what's available in the aquarium hobby. So that's why they're called German blue rams. They have a little bit better, I wouldn't say a better blue, because their blue is not as intense as the wild form. I've had the wild form. They're quite beautiful. They're more like a purplish fish. whereas the German blues have an actual bluish tint to them compared to the wild form, which has more a purple tint. That's the only difference. I know, micro geophagus. It's a mini geophagus. They're like, let's call it a micro geophagus, and they're done with it, you know? And then it's good. Mwah. I love it. Microacanthicus also works, you know? I think that's the best name to use for the L280s because it is an acanthicus. I've looked at them, the dead fish. You know, I've looked at the. I haven't like done like I'm gonna get a CT scan. The ones that died, the one that died is going to the Royal Ontario Museum also. I want to look at the skeletal structure and compare it to a pseudocanthicus or a regular canthicus and see how closely related they are because just because these guys can hybridize with hypancestrus doesn't make it a hypancestrus. It's a different fish, you know? So I think that's what they should be called also. I don't know. But these are things, conversations I have with some people that get heated after a while because I'm not an educated person apparently because I don't have a degree in fish biology. How do you connect to Placo Fever? Placo Fever has a YouTube channel. You guys should follow him. Placo Fever. Search him up. Somebody can, if one of you beautiful people can put up his channel link, that would be helpful. And if you want anything from Placo Fever, let me know. He's my friend. He lives close by. I can ask him to drop it off, and I can send it at the same time with, what's her name, when she comes up to Sudbury this weekend. So, yes. Ego, Hatchet Man, yeah, Hatchery Man, I hope that helps. Ghost moving the airline tube. Where? Behind me? Yeah, no, it happens sometimes. Weird stuff happens in this room. Jackson, do you have guppy breeding pairs? I can. So Chance, that also answers your question. Placo Fever has guppies. We are gonna import some guppies soon. And yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun, you know. Did I miss anybody? S is great. I love S. He's literally one of the best mods ever. Noodle is also pretty fast, okay? I gotta be like, that guy is crazy good. But like, I love S. S is always here. Chance is Toronto based. Great. Yeah, like, just like us. You know? Yes, I'm Toronto based. Placo Fever is in Mississauga, but yes, Toronto based. He'll drop it off to you. For a small fee, obviously. And gas is expensive, so you can't be expecting nobody to drive nothing for you for free. I'm pretty sure my cousin is paying quite a bit to get these fish to me. Oh, that blue marble is gorgeous. I want to see what I can breed her with, because she is very pretty. I think I have a male for her. I'm looking at her right now. You guys want to see how good looking she is? Look at her. She's in the box, okay? That one. It's still cold in there, guys. See? It's warming up. I want to get it at least close to like 78-ish. Because the tanks are 82 degrees in the room. That's why I brought the temperature down in the room also, because to help these guys. And I figured I might get a spawn or two out of that at the same time, which should help me, you know? Pay some bills. These guys is eating my food. S is worth his weight in gold, definitely. Bro, gas cannot hit $2. Well, I mean, it doesn't affect me. Personally, my car is good on gas. I get like 600 kilometers at full tank. Like, I'm not even joking. In the city, I get about 450 to 500. On highway, it's about 600. Like, I have a Canadian-made car. One of the very few Canadian-made cars in the whole world. Not just in Canada. Okay? It's made right here in Ontario. It's a Pontiac Vibe. It's made here in Ontario, in Oakville. Well, it was made in Oakville. It has a Japanese engine and a transmission, and an American chassis and body, and American steel. So good steel, good strong engine, and a manual transmission, which I get to change and operate myself like a monkey. I'm sitting there literally like driving, like it's nice, it's fun. I love that car, you know, and yeah, and so it's good. But other people, like I was looking at buying a new car, and I'm like looking at gas for the new car, and I'm like, nah, I cannot afford that. Like I can afford the bloody car, but I cannot afford the bloody gas. It'd be a car that I park and look at and take pictures of for Instagram. Be like, it's a nice car. Look at my nice car, which I do not cannot afford to drive because gas is so expensive. Well, yeah, we're paying like $1.50 a liter, okay? You're getting a good deal for $3.20 a gallon. That's 4 liters for $3. Stop complaining. I'm paying $1.49 per liter, 1 liter. So 4 liters is $6. A gallon of gas in Toronto is $6. So almost twice. I'm not getting a Tesla. I want a Tesla, but I can't afford that kind of stuff. It's so expensive, you know? Yeah, it's so cheap for you guys. $3.25. Oh my God! I'll take gas at $3.25. I'll take gas at $3. I'll take gas at $4 a gallon. I'll take gas at $5 a gallon even. You know what I mean? Anything less than what I'm paying now, which is $6 a gallon. You know, $6 is a lot per gallon of gas. You know, I wouldn't say sell the Benz, but I would say don't drive the Benz, definitely. You drive the Tesla, you know, until the electric company figures out to jack up electrical costs again. You lucky, bro. We're a gas producing country in Canada too. We have the 3rd largest oil reserves in the world. And we pay more for gas than people that don't have gas in their own ground. Like we take gas out of our ground and pay more for it. It makes no bloody sense. And then you think, okay, at least you're paying a lot for it and taxes, and you think the government's gonna take some of that money and put it into a sovereign wealth fund for the people, like other good governments in the world, like Denmark and Norway and stuff have done. But no, our government has not done. Texas has a sovereign wealth fund, but Canada does not. Like Peru has a sovereign wealth fund, but Canada does not. Our money goes to corporations. So they reap the land and take all the gas out of it, destroy the ground and all the water systems around it to take the gas, and sell it back to us at like premium prices, more than what it is in other places that don't even have gas, and we don't get nothing back for it. It's such a ripoff. I'm so pissed about that. But yeah, that's my personal rant for the day. Oh, also, I forgot to say this. I have a phrase that a phrase of the day, okay? Today's phrase is read the books that they want to burn. So if somebody's burning books, or certain types of books, or they're banning certain types of books, those are the books you need to read. Because that is what they're trying to keep you away from, the information. Do you know what I mean? Keep that in mind when you're looking at information around you. If something is being suppressed for whatever reason, it's probably a good chance that that's the information you need to find to stay on top of, and that's why it's being suppressed by the mainstream media and stuff. That's just a little phrase for the day. Keep that in mind, type of deal. He goes, it's 11.25 per gallon. Oh my God. Primo, I almost accidentally pumped Primo the other day. I was looking at it and I'm like, yo, this is not what the price on the thing said, I almost went back in the gas and started yelling at the guy before I realized I accidentally pressed the wrong button. 11.25 is a lot per gallon, okay? Thing that you need to find out that's in there. Yeah, no, the reason I said that is because there's a few articles and information coming out lately about, like, certain things like current events. I don't want to call it anything else so I get demonetized and stuff, but at the same time, there's things that are happening, and then you see like some of this information, like very credible information, in like scientific journals and stuff, being redacted, removed, blacklisted, you know what I mean, like inaccessible to the average person, so on and so forth. They just keep removing them, and then you try to, once you've actually found out what it is about, then you're like, hey, this kind of fishy, things. All of a sudden, you start realizing the reason 2 and 2 didn't add up earlier was because it doesn't make up to 5, So, that's just why I said that. But yeah. Yeah, Jonathan's killing me. Playboy. They're burning Playboys. Should I burn Playboys? Just to read more Playboy. Yeah, $4 a gallon. No. $4 a gallon is what we're paying actually. $6 Canadian. $4 is not $6. It's not a 1.5% conversion. $4 American is about $4.80 Canadian. Okay, it's not that bad. Our dollar is like only like 20 cents apart. you guys dollar is not the euro. Your euro is a lot stronger than both of our currencies, but the American dollar is about 75 cents on the dollar for a Canadian dollar. So 75 cents American is about a Canadian dollar, or 80 cents right now, I think. So it's not bad. Yes, actually, I've had that before in the past. Now I like what I have. These are easy. I buy them. I don't have to make nothing. I have a whole box of them sitting on the floor. I just open them. This is pretty much empty, but see the box I just opened, and I just open them and use them as I need them. So it works a little bit with my schedule and stuff. If I didn't have a full-time job, I'd sit here and make all kinds of stuff. But I have a full-time job, so I don't have time to make all kinds of stuff. I barely have time to clean my kitchen like that, as it was pointed out by so many of you guys and Graham Stephen. L398s are nice. They're beautiful fish. Where do I get them from? The breeder boxes? These guys come from Big Gals right now. They're sold out at this particular moment, but pretty much 85% of the breeder boxes I have in here, which is quite a bit. I have a lot. I have about 30 breeder boxes in the fish room. In total, like all over. Like, look, they're everywhere. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The ones that are not even being used, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's supposed to be 8 and 9 there, but I don't know where those are. But they're everywhere. They're everywhere. There's some more on the other side. There's a whole bunch on the ground. There's some that I'm clean and put away. But they're all from Big L's. They're $20 each. And on Amazon, I do have some from Amazon when Amazon had them on sale. But Amazon's selling them for $28, and I'm not paying $28 for something that I can buy for $20 at Big L's, which is a local store. Support your local store. It's the breeder box. Did they burn some encyclopedias for scientific? Well, yeah, no, the encyclopedias are in libraries, right? They're in museums maybe eventually. We're not gonna burn them. They're still good. That's the thing, like, I feel like those things have no value in them anymore. Like, people can just go online and find all the info. But at the same time, it's still something that has, like, historic value, Yes, Ames, thank you so much for putting Playco Fever's link up there. If you guys have questions, please feel free to ask. Where I'm at in France, it's average 1.7 euros per liter. That is quite a bit. That 1.7 euros is about $3 actually. More than 2.5. It's about $2.5 US, and it's about $3 Canadian. It's maybe about $3.20 Canadian per liter of gas. I would be pissed if I was paying that much. That's when the government is getting overthrown. You know what I mean? When the gas prices hit like $2, the idiots in charge will get replaced with new idiots, because that's just ridiculous in a gas producing country. What's going on, Glitch? I mean, I'm not saying that that's what we should be doing, but I feel like if the gas prices in Canada hit $2 in Toronto, oh yeah, these people are gonna protest. They're gonna be upset. People are gonna be rioting and shit. It's already like bad. Because remember, everything is tied to gas, eh? People assume, like, I have a friend the other day who's like, oh, it's only 50 cents more, or it's only 10 cents more than it was like a month ago. But here's the problem. That 10 cents adds to my fuel cost, adds to the grocery store's cost. If I'm buying fish from online or out of country, that adds to that fuel cost. It all adds to the cost of fuel, of everything. So inflation now creates, it adds to inflation at the end of it. That's all it is. So gas prices cannot go up. What's the minimum wage where I am? I think $15 right now. The government, the federal minimum wage, they want to bring it up more to 20, but the province is kind of fighting back and trying to keep it at 15, which is ridiculous. They should bring it up to 20. I think 20 would be good, because if the minimum wage goes up to 20, that means my pay will go up more, accordingly. Chance wants to know what size tank is best for guppy breeding pair. You can breed them in a 5.5 gallon. But yes, 10 to 20 is ideal. 10 would be more ideal. 20 would be a little bit too big for one pair. If you have, let's say, a group of like 10 fish, like 2 males and 8 females or something like that, then a 20 gallon is more ideal. But if you just have 2 fish, you can keep them 5.5 to 10 gallon. 10 gallon is better. Then you can have some moss and stuff in there, and then the fry can go and hide, so on and so forth. Yes, once your colony grows, you would need at least a 20 minimum. I mean, sometimes it may be even more, because they can produce quite a bit, and as they grow, you would need more and more space to keep them, or a pet store that has tanks that you can just dump fish into and sell them off that way. Same, I usually breed pairs or trios in a 5.5 gallon. Usually what I like to do is have a 5.5 or 10 gallon with a divider in the middle, if it's a 10 gallon, and then have 2 pairs or 2 trios on both sides, and then have like one of these breeder boxes, or they have a smaller one to this. This is a large, so they have a medium size or small size too, which is like 2/3 the size of this breeder box, and you can have one of those hanging on the side where you can put your female to have babies in comfort, and put some moss. She has babies, put her back, babies grow out in the breeder box. When they get to size where the parents can eat them, you can either put them back with the parents, or you can grow them out in different tanks. It's up to you. Yes, it's 15 in Ontario. Yeah, it's 15 in Ontario right now. It was supposed to be 15 2 years ago. The minimum wage was supposed to go up to 15 in 2019 actually, which meant my pay was going to go up to $30 in 2019. Okay, but they didn't do that, so I had to wait a year and actually 2 years, all of 2019 and all of 2020, for my pay to go up to 30, because the minimum wage didn't go up at the time. So it's bloody ridiculous. I don't agree with it. I think the minimum wage should be $20 right now. US Capers says my autosynchronous is really fat. That's a good thing, unless it's bloated, which is a bad thing. But usually, fat is good. Yes, 20 longs work really well for CPDs. Chance says thank you. No, it's my pleasure. And also the other people also, thank you so much for supporting. BTL, what's up? What's up? Yeah, the longer narrow tanks seem to work really well for CPDs. Even the really long, I think there's a 10-gallon long that's like, I think 30 inches long, 6 inches wide, and 8 inches tall or whatever. It's like a really long, really narrow column tank, but it's gorgeous. You put a really thin light on it, and you can plant it and stuff with like some grass, you know, and then they'll love that, you know. I gotta get these fish situated soon, so. Uh, Otters can get quite thick. It means they probably are breeding in your tank also. Very nice, Mitch. Very nice. Congratulations. Yeah, get a long column tank. That's the best for CPDs because then they don't have too much space to go in the back. The trick to CPDs is having a shallow and narrow tank. So they have space to go this way, both directions, but not too much space to go this way because it's a small fish. It doesn't need like a foot. It just needs about 6 inches to go about up and down, you know? But sideways, if you have like 24 inches to go up and down, then you see the fish a lot more as it swims back and forth. And because you're kind of directing the traffic this way, your fish are going to spool more going back and forth. You know what I mean? So that's a little trick. So otters breed on leaves usually. The male and the female will go on like a long leaf in the water column, and the female will sit on the leaf, and the male will twist around him or her, and they'll lay an egg on the leaf, and the female, as she lays the eggs, the males will be twisted around her, fertilizing the egg, and they keep doing that throughout the tank all day. So most of the time, that's just them just asserting dominance with each other. If it's a pair, usually it's just them just showing off to each other. The male usually be like, you know, trying to breed, and the female's like, no, I'm not ready for it yet. Give it another couple of days, type of deal. You know, it's okay. You know, like it's rare to get this. These guys are like super chill. Like this is a mated pair, so you see no aggression and stuff because they're brother and sister. They've known each other their whole life. They've grown up together in their tank. And they picked each other once before as a pair. They came with the group. I left them with the group and they picked each other again. So these two fish, they like each other. There's no fighting at all. But this is not normal for most cases, you know. This doesn't happen all the time. Usually, I'll show you my other angelfish breeding tank. So let's go over there. So let's look at these guys real quickly. Okay, so these two are a pair, but right now, see how she's kind of like in the corner because he's not attracted to her at this point. He's more attracted to one of these girls, I think her. Okay, so he's trying to have sex with her, but she's attracted to one of these guys here, right? This is their pair. They're not like this. They are mated. They spawned once, but the fry didn't survive in here and stuff. So they need at least one more try until they become as good as the other two. They might never, but still they're not fighting, which is good, right? Now their parents, which are beside them, right there. That's the mommy, and that's the daddy, right? And there's new babies. No fighting. You know, so it's why I always say get like 6 fish and let them pick their partners, because when that happens, there's less arguments and disagreements, you know, between the two fish. But it's normal for them to have disagreements. Like if they're just like pushing each other face to face, or if they're lip locking and pushing back and forth, they're just exerting dominance. The only time you need to worry about is when one fish is beating up on the other fish, and you'll know when that happens, like because the other fish will be running away for his dear life because they're in a tank, and it will happen regularly, over and over, and you'll see like wounds and ripped fins and things like that, and then at that point you guys say, okay, domestic abuse, you're out of here. You know what I mean? Separation, divorce time. You know what I mean? Or separation court. Whatever. But until that point, you're good. Yes. Oh yeah, S. I wait for them to breed at least once or twice in the group. Once they breed like the second time, like it's like this pair. I'll show you guys. This pair is now mated. They're good. So these guys right here. This is the female. It's difficult to see in there, but the male's up there. See how they're still together? Their eggs didn't even make it. I mean, some might have, but this is a full mated pair. She's not gravid at the moment, but she's defending and he's still into her. You know what I mean? She's into him. They're into each other the whole time. So they're good. So those two fish, I'm going to take out as soon as I have a tank to move them to, and move them to their own tank, and they're available for sale. But it's because they're made of pair, you know what I mean? And same thing with the white fish up here. And also the fish we saw earlier. I know that one and this other one. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of them, and they don't fight because they like each other. They picked each other based on their desire. Like they're like us, you gotta remember. Like angelfish live 20 years sometimes, like 10 plus, definitely. Okay, so this is an animal that has a good memory, sentient being, so they feel pain. They definitely know who you are. They get attached to humans, specific humans. So like these guys are attached to me. If somebody else comes in the room, depending on the person's energy, they will be attracted to them, or they will be afraid of them. There's people that come in here and all my angels will hide. You know what I mean? There's some people. There's about 2 people actually they're all afraid of. 2 of my friends, and I don't like them coming to my fish room because my fish run. Like when Plague Fever comes, they all come out because they love his energy. Same with Michael. Yesterday Michael was here and all my fish were coming out. It's the first time Michael's been in the fish room, but my fish were not afraid of him, So different energy. So they're intelligent, and you cannot force them onto another animal and expect them to get along. Sometimes they might, sometimes they might not. Like Glitch said earlier, if somebody tried to breed me, it's a no, right? Same thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my mom always says, oh, like, you're a good-looking guy, I'm just gonna find you a good-looking girl, and I'm gonna get you married, right? That's not working, because just because they're good-looking and I'm good-looking doesn't mean we're gonna find each other compatible. It's not just looks, right? Like, I'm gonna have to tolerate their bullshit every day, and they're gonna have to tolerate my fish and my bullshit every day, and my dirty kitchen, right? It's like So US Caper says his bite chairs recognize him. Does it have to be distilled? No, it has to be RODI water for the most part, but yeah, you can use distilled water also. It's better to use RODI, but distilled water can work. Yes, S is right. It does come with a solution. But no, you know what I'm saying, Rich? It's true, right? It's true. Like it's the same thing. Same thing applies to blue rams. Same thing applies to a lot of other animals that breed in pairs. Like discus, for example, same deal. Like if you talk to Jan the discus man, he'll tell you there's some pairs. He has some pairs. They're like best pals. You know what I mean? And then there's some pairs where the female will beat up on the male all the time. And then there's some pairs where the male will beat up on the female all the time. So those are not bad, but it's not as desirable as a pair that doesn't have any aggression at all between the two fish, So yeah, you have like what I recommend if you want to breed any animal, especially we'll focus on angels right now, but the same thing applies to German rams, black rams, um, crebensis, any type of cichlids that breed in pairs. This does not apply to apistogrammas, okay? So if you want to breed apistogrammas, it's a little different strategy. But if you want to breed like the general pairing type of cichlids, like angels, severums, oscars, um, any type of micro geophagus like blue rams, or even some of the larger geophagus, okay? Larger geophagus seem to breed in groups, so depending on the species, things can change a little bit. But you get 6 to 8 fish, you put them in a tank, you grow them up together, okay? You get them small, hope that you have both genders. Within 6 to 8 months, they would become sexually mature depending on the type and the amount of time it requires. As they become sexually mature, you will see 2 fish that are gonna take up the entire tank and chase the other 8 fish or 6 fish left over to the other corner. Okay? When that 2 fish breed, that's your best pair out of that group. You take that pair, put it in a separate tank. Wait a couple of weeks, and another pair will do the same thing. And you take that pair and you put them in a second tank. Those are your 2 best pairs. Those are gonna usually be your best breeding pairs. They're gonna breed the best. They're gonna have the best chances of raising the fry. They're gonna have the most success raising fry. They're not gonna fight, so they're not gonna eat eggs and stuff. A lot of this stuff that can happen when the 2 fish are not compatible are no longer an issue for you. So this is the best way to go to get the best results. Now let's say you have adult fish, you can still get good pairs. So like let's say I have 6 adult angels between 2 and 3 years old, all healthy, nice looking fish, and I need to breed them, okay? What I do is I take all 6 fish or 8 fish, put them in a tank, like I have with my ultims and my other 6 fish that I'm trying to pair up. Same deal. And then you wait for a pair to form, put them away, wait for a next pair to form, put them away, so on and so forth. That's the best way to go. And then you get more how do you say copacetic animals that are cool with each other, not trying to kill each other the whole time. You know what I mean? Same thing with zebra picos. If you want to have a breeding group, get like 10-12 animals, or more, and then grow them out together. Like these 7 animals, I have pretty good confidence that when I put them into the tank, that all 7 of them will get along. And they will probably not kill each other because they haven't killed each other in this tiny little box, right? So they're good with each other. They like each other. They've been brothers and sisters, or there's a few that are not brothers and sisters in there also that I bought to mix with them. So I have that little clutch plus the few that I added in there, and I'm pretty confident that when I put them in the tank a year in, they will breed for me. So next year this time, hopefully, or I guess 2023, the beginning of 2023, these fish, as well as these fish, will be reproducing, right? Because, this group here, I've been growing out since last year. Some of the fish actually are since the year before last year, or the beginning of last year at least. So it's a long-term investment. I guess your cockroaches are happier than your fish, definitely. Happy animals reproduce, okay? Remember that. And I'll give you an example from human life, okay? I've said this before. I've probably talked about this in some of the videos also. If you are in a relationship, and you're a guy or a girl, you're in a relationship, you go on date nights, right? When do we have sex? Like as human beings. We go on a date, you go on date night, even if you're in a committed relationship, you take your girl out, you get some nice food, you get, like I remember I was dating this girl like a few years back, and I would pick her up from work sometimes, most of the time. And like, so I finished work, I pick her up from her job, and we're driving home, right, on a Friday night. And she'd have her feet up on my dashboard, which I bloody hate. But, that's what she likes to do. Stinky feet up on my dashboard. They're not stinky, she's a cutie, so, she's allowed, but I get upset, We banter about it, but whatever. And so, like I'll just say, hey, do you want to stop somewhere, pick up some food? So she's happy. She doesn't have to come home and cook Friday night, you know what I mean?
So stop somewhere, pick up some food, pick up a bottle of wine, a big bottle usually like a Magnum, 1.5 liters. Come home, eat the food, drink wine, watch a movie or whatever. We're both laughing, we're both having fun, we're both happy. Next thing you know, I'm getting laid, everybody's happy, go to bed happy, wake up next morning, she's happy, everything is good, life is good, right? Same thing applies to your fish. If your fish are happy, they're gonna breed, you know? It's that simple. How do you make your fish happy? They can't tell you. Get them to the right temperature, keep them in the right pH, give them the right food, keep the water clean, no nitrates, zero ammonia and nitrates, basic things. Right amount of flow, oxygen, well oxygenated, decent amount of light throughout the day so they have a good day-night cycle, regular feedings with high quality food. It's like taking your girl to a restaurant, you're gonna get some. Basically, yeah. See, the ladies agree. Can I talk about water heaters? I don't use water heaters. So I cannot talk about water heaters except bad things about it. What can I can say about water heaters? If you are going to use an aquarium heater, what I recommend, because a lot of you guys might only have a couple of tanks, and heating the room is not a viable option, so you might have to use aquarium heaters. If you are going to use aquarium heaters, get a thermal controller. There are things called an external thermal controller. It's usually a power bar with a thermal probe which goes into your tank or your terrarium usually, and has several different plugs, usually 2 or 3. Some of them only have one. The good ones also have timers, and you can control the temperature in the tank with this unit, and your heater turns on and off not with the mechanism inside the heater, which can fail quite easily, but with a solenoid which is on the external controller. So it's a backup controller, and it saves your heater from malfunctioning. So it doesn't matter what brand your heater use at that point, this is going to prevent your heater from malfunctioning and killing your fish. What's going on, Ray? No, Pleco Fever is not me. Pleco Fever is my friend. My Facebook is Aqua Malik or Malik King. Pleco Fever does not have Facebook, but you can message him through. I think there's an email address that he. You know what? We'll figure it out. Send me a message. I'll give you his contact. Yes, yes, you escaper. A thermal controller. The one in the US, the best brand in the US, recommended by most people based on your recommendations, is Inkbird. So INKBIRD, Inkbird, and that's the best brand in the US. And in Europe and the United Kingdom, the brand most recommended by fish keepers is Lucky Reptile. Lucky Reptile is a better product than the Inkbird product. From people that have used both products to test, but you do not have to get the European version. Inkbird works extremely well for the North American client base, and from Canada or the US. And if you are in Europe, you are a Lucky Reptile. You're Lucky Reptile. There you go, Pleco Fever. Yes. There you go. Glitch has a different brand and it works. Yeah, and you need to have the floaty thermostats if you don't have one of these, because the strips don't really work that well. The floaties work a little bit better. And you can have several of them, so you can kind of like test between each other and say, okay, so these, if you put 5 of them in the same tank, and if 4 of them are reading one temperature and one is reading something different, chances are the one that's reading something different is the garbage one, So you can test between them that way. Yeah, Hagen I've heard good things about. So definitely. Good. And that's the thing, it saves you money also because the thermal controller stops your heater from malfunctioning and your heater lasts longer. So you can set it so that your heater solenoid never turns on. So you set your heater to a lot lower temperature than your thermal control. So anytime power comes in, your heater is always on. And when the temperatures reach to the point where you want it to reach in the tank, the power shuts off, your heater doesn't have to shut off, so that mechanism doesn't have to ever work. By that not working, it lasts longer. You know what I mean? Leo has a super chat and a question. Thank you so much for the super chat. And he says, Malik, Chemi-Pure Elite in the Pleco tank till I get my nitrate resin. Not a good idea, or is it safe for them till then? I've never used Chemi-Pure. If you can send me a link on the product, I can probably look it up. If it's an aquarium product, chances are it's probably safe. You don't need to worry about it. But as far as my concern, getting the nitrate resin, you're already buying it. Until it gets there, don't worry about it. It's not that much of a big deal to worry about. Yeah, it should be fine if it's an aquarium product. Rinse it out properly before you put it in your tank. If you don't really trust it, what I like to do is I put it in a tank where I don't care about the fish as much as the fish. Like, I wouldn't put it in my 260 tank right away. I would put it in like a tank with some fry in it or something, see if nothing is affected by it, then I'm like, okay, it's safe, then I dump it in my tank, you know what I mean? So that's a, oh yeah, if it has carbon, it should be fine. It should be fine, just rinse it and use it. Armando, what's up? Nice, that's good. Best tips for a beginner, start small. Don't try to buy the expensive fish. Don't ever buy anything more than like $2 or $3 for the first 2 years, because chances are you're gonna end up killing them. Buy easy to keep fish like guppies are good, mollies are good, live bearers, any types of live bearers, and quarantine your fish when you get them. When you're first time fish keeper, chances are you don't know what diseases look like for the most part. You might just think that the disease is a pattern on the fish that is attractive. You know, that has happened to me in the past. You know, I saw these peppered marks on the fish when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, this fish looks really pretty. It has little bumps on it, and then it turns out it's disease. Like, I was like 7, I had no idea, right? My dad was laughing. My dad has a good time with me when I make mistakes. But yeah, you know, so you just buy cheap fish, quarantine them for at least 3 to 4 weeks before you put them to your main setup, and that's it. Give me 1 second. These other guys trying to pick up the fish. I might have to go. Hello? Yeah. Are you leaving now? Okay. I will see you then. Okay. I can try. If I can get it all packed, I will come to the highway. I'm just trying to pack them right now. Okay. 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 Bye. Alright, guys and girls, that is my cue to sign off. Yes, lots of research. I would recommend watching Primetime Aquatics. That's the best channel I can recommend right now off the top of my head. Also, what's the channel with the couple, the bald guy? I forgot their name. They're good also. But there's a few good channels. Aquarium Co-op probably is not what I would recommend. Not anymore, at least. In the beginning, when they first started, they were a great channel for new fish keepers. But Primetime Aquatics, you cannot go wrong. They have a lot of information. So, and then do a lot of research. The type of fish I keep are what you would probably be getting once you've had fish for at least 5 to 10 years. A lot of the more expensive stuff, I wouldn't recommend anybody that has less than 5 years of experience to go and pick up zebra plecos. Even with me, I've killed some. You saw me, my expensive fish die yesterday, so it's quite possible you're going to lose a lot of money that way. So keep that in mind, and I got to sign up. I love you guys. God bless you. I wouldn't keep a betta with guppies. Just it's just not a good idea. Guppies will die. Yeah. Okay, I gotta sign off because I had to get about 200 fish ready to ship. I love you guys. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Hope all you guys have a blessed week, and God bless you all. And I'll see you on the next one. And please remember to join Father Fish at 6 p.m., which is in like 20 minutes. And comment and say you all just came over from Aquamali. And I'll be there as soon as I'm done sending these out. Okay? I love you guys. God bless you. I'll see you on the next one. Mwah. Bye.